So I think, in general, we are missing each other, and I think we're missing an ability to communicate and to listen, um, and I think we're missing curiosity of each other that we used to have, most of us, in our lifetimes, and now it's so much more difficult to capture that.
Acacia.
Nice to meet you, Acacia. Thanks for doing this with us.
Oh, not a problem.
All right. Pull a card.
What you were doing a year ago? What I was doing a year ago? Ah, ah, it's. I was homeless a year ago, and me and my fiance, we came into some money recently, and now we are just traveling, enjoying life, doing all the things that we couldn't do last year. So this is really special for me.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Can I ask you 3 additional questions?
Of course.
I'm curious, what did you discover about yourself? Choose one and answer it.
What I discovered about myself is a long time ago, I felt that I was afraid of everything, but then I gained courage through being homeless. So I mean, it's like really, I learned a lot. I learned a lot how you should never you always treat people the way you want to be treated. You never look down on people because you never know when your circumstances can change. So that's what I learned.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there anything else you want people to learn from your lived experience?
Yes. Always treat people the way you want to be treated and love past yourself. Be a selfless person, not a selfish person. And always give to the point it hurts, because once you start hurting, that's when your greatest experience comes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you chatting with us.
My name is Dennis, guys.
Thank you for doing this with us.
No problem. You're welcome.
All right, pick a card.
Share a story about starting off on the right foot. Oh, wow. I felt the first time I ever felt like I was actually really starting on the right foot is when I had my first child. You know, whom ultimately I lost on my birthday a few years ago. But he was born on Christmas Day. But it's an awesome thing because he's in a better place right now. You know what I mean? In spite of the society we live in, you know, some people of us have enough faith in God to know that it goes beyond what we see. You know, and I love this. I had to get down here. I don't come out a lot, but I had to get down here and be around people, be around my fellow brothers and sisters. Because that's what it's about. It's about love. We forget that. That's why what's going on out here is what's going on. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all just giving me this opportunity to just share my story.
Can I ask you some follow-up questions? Okay. I'm curious, how are you feeling right now?
What I'm feeling right now is I'm ecstatic that I woke up this morning, that God gave me another chance at life in spite of me being a sinful person. It's in our nature. But I'm just thankful. I'm happy right now. I'm appalled. I get to meet you guys, 3 new people that's doing awesome things for the community, you know, and I wouldn't trade this for the world right now. This is where I need to be, and I feel like this is where I need to be right now. I don't get out a lot, like I told you guys, so this is very important to me right now. You know, I mean, it's like stratosphere important, you feel me? So, you know, I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want someone to learn or take away from like your lived experience?
Oh, most definitely. Trust yourself, trust in your choices, but most importantly of all, trust in God and ask Him for guidance. He will deliver.
Thank you so much. Okay, so what is your name?
Hi, I'm Brian.
Nice to meet you, Brian. Thanks for doing this with us.
Likewise.
If you'll pick one card and read it and then share a story.
So my card reads, missing something. Wow. Doesn't have to be about me. Is that right? So I think, in general, we are missing each other. And I think we're missing an ability to communicate and to listen. And I think we're missing curiosity of each other that we used to have, most of us, in our lifetimes. And now it's it's so much more difficult to capture that.
That's a really good summary of why we're doing this work. That's great. All right, can I ask you 3 more questions?
Sure.
I'm curious, can you tell me more about why you think people aren't curious about each other?
Yeah, the third one I think is a good jump-off point. It's a guess on other people's part, but I think we're all scared. And I think we're scared of, obviously, different things, new things, perhaps other people, but we're also scared of ourselves, maybe. And we're sort of living in an age of fear. So much make that as a political statement, although that's part of it. But we're just unsure of the future in ways that are more fearful, whereas in the past, I think a lot of us saw them as opportunities and growth and change, and now it's a little bit more dystopian. I don't know. That's not my personal view on the world, but I see it around me a lot. And so it's troubling because I don't think there's the carefree nature that we used to have, whether that's because of people's lives or their jobs or the economy or whatever it might be. But fear is, it's evil, and it's really paralyzing, and it's problematic, and it defeats a lot of us. And so in some way, being able to overcome it and stare it down is how we got here in our better angels, and we got to get back to that.
Thank you. What is one thing, if someone takes one thing away from what you just shared, what is that like one learning nugget you want them to capture?
I don't know. You have to go live your life, right? I mean, you have to follow what your passion and your dream is, ideally to the betterment of the people around you. But for most of us, to the extent that we never quite achieve that, it's because we're scared of something. And I think sometimes people are scared of success. I've struggled with that. So where is that fear coming from? What is it that's holding you back? And how do you unpack that and then go get it? Because that's how we're all going to get to where we want to go.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This is awesome.
I hope so. You're doing a great job. This is cool.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Will you share your name with us?
Yes, Amson.
Nice to meet you. I'm Leah. If you will pull a card, read the card, and then share a story based on that card. Okay.
Share a story about something you have in your life that 5 years ago you could barely imagine possible. A job. 5 years ago, I was a graduate student. How do I say? The job market wasn't looking promising. And so when I finally got a job a year and a half ago, I was elated, and I was finally able to pay some bills, and the future looked a little bit more promising.
Okay, can I ask some follow-up questions?
Sure.
I'm curious, how are you feeling right now?
Today's interesting. I finished my first year at this new job, and while I'm, happy to have a job, this year's given me insight into all the issues with this particular workplace, higher education in general, and the plight of my colleagues. And I'm experiencing a mix of emotions like happiness, but also a lot of concern, worry, angst. So I'm feeling a lot of things right now. They're all pretty ambiguous and ambivalent, but a lot of things.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anything, if there's one thing that someone learns from your lived experience, what is that, one nugget you want someone to learn?
Shared experience, and also working alongside my colleagues and comrades and friends has actually been really great. If nothing else, I've met a lot of people through having the same experiences as others, and that's been it's been nice to meet people that way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your name?
My name is Dylan.
Nice to meet you, Dylan. I'm going to have you pull a card, and you're going to read that card and share a story based on the question.
It says, share a story about holding on. Okay, so once I went spelunking. I was a Boy Scout. I grew up in West Virginia. There's a lot of caves, and we were in one of these very muddy, very dark caves where you're crawling through thick mud on your hands and knees. And one of the other scouts got scared. He couldn't move. He was just like petrified. And some of us were climbing, and we were all in a line, like up and through, and we just all had to hold on while he dealt with, and like you want to be angry, you want to be like, stop freaking out, move it, I'm stuck here. But also like, you shouldn't do that. That's not going to help. So we all had to hold on while he was going through that. And we got through, covered in mud.
But you made it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you 3 follow-up questions and you choose one to go deeper on?
Sure.
I'm curious, what gave you courage?
I guess courage is probably the right question there. And I think what gave us courage was we had to give it to him. And so despite that temptation to be mad because he's holding us up, we had to say, like, you can do this, and you have to. If you can't do it for you, do it for us, because we're stuck here too. So just the camaraderie, I guess, is what gave us the courage that then we gave, I guess, to him.
That's awesome. If there's one thing you want people to take away from your lived experience, what is that one learning nugget?
Patience is important, I think. We live in such a fast world, but we're still humans, and sometimes there's a moment like that one where it just needs a minute to process, and you're not going to move on until you do. And the patience, the permission, the support for that is how you move through quickly, and you need to be patient for it.
Thank you for doing this with us.
Sure.
Really appreciate it. What is your name?
My name is Ruth.
Thank you for doing this with us today. All right. You're going to choose one card, and then you're going to read the card and share a story.
Okay. This says, share a story about going the extra mile. Well, this is a funny thing because I'm a Baltimore City firefighter paramedic, and I feel like we go the extra mile every day for people. Yeah. Do you need something more specific?
I'll ask you a deeper question if that's okay. You good with that? All right. Let's see. I'm curious, what would you want us to take away from your story or from your experience? I'm curious, what did you discover about yourself? I'm curious what surprised you.
So we'll go with the first question was what you want to take away from this. Just know that first responders first show up because we care. And we are there to help you and help with whatever need that you have. And just know that we are going to go the extra mile for you.
Thank you so much. Can you share your name?
Gerald Dent.
Okay, we're going to have you pull a card, and you're going to read the card and answer it.
I'm up to it.
All right.
Share a story about going the extra mile. That's me, Extra Mile Soul. My name is Gerald, as I mentioned it, but commonly known throughout the Baltimore region and wherever as Soldier. And that name, Soldier, was a direct effect, the fact that I goes the extra mile. I just recently did 40 years in the various penal colonies around the state of Maryland, but it's not so recent. Because for the first time since I was 10 years old, I've been out 10 years, which is a decade. No supervision, no roadblocks up ahead, no federal agents on my tail lights. I'm a free man, and since I've been out, I got the one thing. I cause a lot of destruction, so my thing now is to give back, to help out. And while I was in prison, I did a 4-year BS in social science, which I consider a people's degree. And hence that time, I come home at the height of the Freddie Gray rebellion when the pigs murdered Freddie Graves in Baltimore City down at Gilmore Homes, and the people allowed me to join their nonprofit group. And since that time, here I am, sharing everybody's thoughts with the world.
Can I ask you a few more questions, and I want you to tell us about these questions? This is a follow-up to what you just shared. I'm curious, would you do it differently? I'm curious, share your senses in the story. What did you see, feel, smell, and hear? I'm curious, what's a question you wish was asked about your story that never is? Which question would you want to answer?
How I was raised. You see what I'm saying? My dad was a dominator. He kick you in the ass. Hey, got to tell the truth, right? Whole truth and nothing but the truth. And as a result of that, I've developed this resentment against authority. You know what I mean? Then I had my mother always say, you wait till the white man get his hands on you. Wait till the white man get his hands on you. So I kind of rebel against that. I say, I'll show her. I ain't paying that white man no mind. I'm going to steal something. I'll show her. I'm not paying that white man. I'm not afraid of the white man. Then eventually, I ended up with life sentence in jail. You know what I mean? And that's just because I was determined to not do what my father wanted me to do and to let my mother know I'm not afraid of the white man. On that journey, though, that's who I am today. I'm that gentleman today that genuine cares about people's, and every chance I get to talk to a younger anybody, they ain't necessarily black and white, because this ain't no juvenile delinquency. Don't stop in the black neighborhood. It's throughout. And what I discovered, basically all young folk think the same. The ones that's positive think in a great positive way. The ones that are just a little erratic here and there for whatever reason. And even when I say that about them, they think the same way too. When I grew up, at school time, you had like clothes for the white guys and clothes for the black guys. But now it's uniformity. Everybody wear the same thing. Everybody listen to the same move. Everybody got the same swagger. Hey, that's bad. You know what I mean? And hey, this is 2025, and the Baltimore public school system still got some schools that ain't even got air conditioning. But you know, the lottery money and the casino money supposed to enhance the school system. They still ain't got 2025, the new millennium. They ain't even got manual air conditioning. Something extremely wrong, and that's why we out here today. What's your most words about the world today? You know what I mean? And this one here says, what gives you hope right now? And the top catcher, like it's up in the heavens, says, God first. And I guess he'll melt out everything beneath it, you know?
Why did you all do these questions?
It was the most potent. We need to know what's on the mind of the world. The people that you immediately surrounded with, right?
Thank you so much for doing this with us. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Can you share your name with us?
John?
Nice to meet you, John. I'm going to have you pick one of these cards. You're going to read the card, and then you're going to share a story with us.
Okay. Okay. It says, a place you consider your home. I think the first thing that pops to mind is probably like my studio, which is maybe like not like the most creative answer, but like my studio is just in my house, and I've always wanted a studio like outside, like just because it's nice to be like in like a community of like people, but just to save money, it's always been in my like just like me and my partner both have a studio that we share, and like even though it's kind of like was never our plan, like it's kind of like really nice just to have it like in the house, because like if you're like making spaghetti and you're like, okay, I have like 5 minutes, I can just like run up to my studio and like fill stuff in, and I don't feel like I have to like spend like the whole day or like a whole hour. So it's like nice to just have it like in my house. So like that's like the first thing that came to mind when I think of like home.
I love that. Can I ask you a few follow-up questions, and you can choose which one you want to answer?
Sure.
Did you uncover a favorite part of your studio being in your home?
Yes. This is a really dorky answer. So like when I was like organizing my studio, I'm somebody that like I really need to have everything like set up to go like when I'm like there, because I don't like to like find stuff. So like one of my walls in my studio that's my favorite spot is like I organized all my different tapes because I use masking tape to like tape off the different parts of so all the paintings that I make are like they're layers of stencils, and all the stencils are carved out of masking tape. So I have like probably like, this is really dorky, but it's like I have like 50 different types of tape that I like, all different sizes and everything. So I like organize all the tapes on this one wall in my studio, and that's probably my favorite place in my studio.
I don't think that's dorky at all. I love that because it makes your art flow like easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's something where I'm like, this seems ridiculous to have, but it's like when you're like working and you're like, these are the things that just make my life easier. And it's like makes it so much more fun for me, and I can like just like see everything and don't have to like root around for it. So
What's one thing that you hope that people like take away from your experience?
I guess just like how like being as experimental as you can in the studio, and I hope people like pick that up, I guess.
I love that. Can you point out your art that's here right now?
Sure. So each artist at Current has 4 pieces. My 2 pieces are the ones, those 2, and then the stack of like the neon green. Yeah, so those 4.